welcome back, everybody, to Hearing Things with Julie and Brad. We are a little punchy today. We both had a long week, but we're doing all right. So we're really excited because today we're going to take you through a quick recap of something that I've done for the first time. Was this new for
I
you?
knew about it, but I haven't done anything before.
So cool. World Hearing Day is every year on March 3rd, and I found out it's because the threes look like ears.
Oh,
which is why it's 3-3. I didn't know you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So cute. The little threes look like ears, and that's why it's World Hearing Day. And it's always on March 3rd. So we, separately and together, decided we should, do something and honor this. As we've both been on this journey with our hearing loss and kind of coming more and more to the forefront with it as we've gotten older. And at school, I read aloud a book called Can Bears Ski by Raymond Antrobus. And I remiss in remembering the illustrator's name, Polly.
Oh, I can't remember either. We'll
post it.
Mm-hmm.
The book's fantastic,
Yeah,
and the premise of it is basically a little bear and his dad, and the bear keeps thinking that everyone is asking him, "Can bears ski?" And come to find out, the bear needs a hearing aid, and at the end is the twist where you find out what people were actually saying. And it was fun. My students are grades 3 through 5, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And some of them, picked up on it right away. And most of them, at the end of the story, they're like, what? Oh my God, I know, right? It was awesome.
Sweet.
So I did that at school. And then you did a story time at the library with the same book.
Yeah, so I didn't do it because children frighten me. But my youth services librarian, Nicole, and I partnered up. And what we did is she read the book, and I showed my hearing aids. And so kind of explained to kids, and these were much younger, so these were ages 2 through 5, and I think more of them were
you had the little ones.
I had the little ones, and so she would do the story because you gotta let the experts do their job, and she's great at it, and I'm not, and so I let her do her thing, and we did some sign language songs in it to kind of just make people aware, and so I showed my hearing aids and kind of explained how they work after she read the story, so they can kind of put a physical connection to something that they learned about. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much they actually caught on because they were younger, but afterwards there was a coloring page or something, so the caregivers were helping them color, and a couple of them said that their grandpa had hearing aids, and they have to remember to speak directly to the grandpa and cover their mouth and stuff like that, and that's kind of the point of it. So the World Hearing Day is put on by the World Health Organization every year. Mm-hmm. So it is a global effort, which is fantastic. And it's just meant to do what we're doing here, basically, is get people talking about it. And there's pushes to get your hearing tested. And that's what I mentioned. And when I was talking about my hearing aids is get your hearing tested. If you think you need it, get it. And don't put it off. Because I had a harder life because I didn't get my hearing aids for 20 years and I needed them. So it was hard.
So at my school, after I did the read aloud, we had, because I have older students, I had found on Amazon over-the-counter amplifiers for $12.99 each. And I said, this is awesome. They look like my hearing aid. Mm-hmm. So I said, this is perfect. They came with batteries. Mm-hmm. I had bought some hearing aid cleaning kits and some air puffers, which are the little poofy things you press and the air comes out. That goes through your tubes to help get the moisture out. Yeah. I said, this is awesome. So I bought everything on Amazon, and I had enough for each kit to have their own, and I bought some dry aid kits, which are little desiccant containers. You know the little pouches in your shoe boxes? It's the same idea. You put the hearing aids in at night, screw the cap on. I said, this is amazing. So I was able to take my students through a whole experience, hands-on, per each kid, what it's like to own hearing aids, how to clean them, how to care for them, how to check to make sure the battery's working, how to put them putting them to bed at night in the little dry aid kit. It was such an incredible buy-in, and the questions the kids had, and one of my students, one of my 4th graders, she was a riot. At the end, she goes, I don't know how you do this. She said, this is complicated, and you can't just go right to bed. I said, I know. And she goes, and you have to do this twice because you have 2 hearing aids, and we only had to do it with 1. I'm like, I know, right? Now you know why Mrs. Lane is so tired all the time. It was so cool. And I also, in between the book and the activity, I had a slideshow that I did to show the kids what I looked like when I was little and got my first hearing aid, and they always get a kick out of that, and talked about the speech banana and the audiogram, and kind of showed them where my hearing is and what I can and cannot hear. They fascinated by it. It was just such an incredibly rewarding experience for me to bring my experience to them in a way that was really concrete and hands-on. It was pretty awesome.
The cursor
it
it wasn't at your nose, but so it was like over here.
Okay.
So usually everybody like it's right there.
That's entertaining. So that's what I did.
Yeah. So we did that,
and then we met up that night, and you had.
Yeah, so oh God, I forgot to ask how to pronounce her name. Betty Hawk, I think her name is, and she was a concert violist who lost her hearing, and so she does talks around the country basically, and she talks about how she came to terms with losing music. For someone, I don't play music. Any kind of instrument. I can't imagine how much it would be hard for me to lose music just listening to it.
Right.
So to have someone who lost enough of their hearing that she could no longer do her job, and so her talk is her hearing loss journey. She talks about how she lost her hearing and what she did to find the help she needed to get, both physically and mentally, because I can't imagine how hard that was to go through. And how she got back into music and giving talks. She brings her viola and violin, and she plays some pieces. It was really good because it gives that personal touch, right?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what the whole hearing day is supposed to do. Is this abstract idea of hearing loss presented at a concrete level, and having her talk she was fantastic. I've seen her twice now, so I saw her at the HLAA Boston chapter meeting in November, and that's where I asked her to come and talk to my patrons. And so we had a fairly good turnout, and she played and she talked, and it was great. It was great to see that kind of not overcoming the obstacle because she can't play for an orchestra because she doesn't have the hearing, but she pivoted, and it was really valuable to see how she adjusted to work within her means, even if that means it changed. So that was at night.
It's fantastic.
It was a long day, but it was a good day.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you have the chance to see her, not only speak, but to hear her play as she plays part of that presentation. Yeah. She's just, I could listen to her all day. She's just incredible. Yeah. She makes that viola sing. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Yeah. The last one, Amazing Grace, beautiful. Just so beautiful. Yeah, we couldn't look at each other.
What comes as a shock to no one? I was in tears. I did not dare look at you.
No.
Did not, because I knew I'd totally lose it, but it was great. So, Betty, thank you. Hopefully you see this. So we'll be sure to tag you when we post it. But thank you so much. It was fantastic.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So it's hearing day.
Look at us celebrating hearing loss.
Well, hopefully we can do it every year. So we'll see.
I would love for you to come to my school next year and read aloud to my older kids.
You want me to read?
Yes. They would love that.
All right. Well,
it'll be fun. We'll work that out schedule-wise.
It'll be a Tuesday, right? Because it's the 3rd every year. It's not.
Right.
I have time.
We'll schedule around.
See what we can do.
See if we're still speaking. Hopefully this isn't prophetic.
All right.
Books.
So, books.
I'll go first.
Go first.
So, I don't even know if this is even in print anymore, but this is such a darling book, and I got it years and years ago, and it's called Small Miracles, and it's a collection of stories that people submitted about their lives and extraordinary coincidences and twists that just can't be explained. It's awesome. There's all kinds of stories in here, and they're just beautifully done. I can't really describe it. You really have to just read it, but it just talks about how sometimes things are dropped into your life that you just didn't see coming or didn't expect, and it serves you in a way that you never realized would ever be possible, and it's just really special book. I love it. I don't even know if it's in print anymore, but if you can find it, highly recommend it.
Check your library.
Check the library. Oh, that's right. That little place you can go for the free books. And it's by Yitta, Halberstam, and Judith Leventhal. Oh, nice. And it's called Small Miracles, Extraordinary Coincidences from Everyday Life. It is awesome.
Awesome.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, sure.
That's my pick for today.
Great. So I have something similar, actually. So I have...
What do you got?
All You Needed to Know, You Learned in Kindergarten.
That book!
By Robert Fulghum.
Yes!
So I read this years ago. So he's got a bunch of books. So he's a minister, and he just gives you like lessons, funny anecdotal lessons about learning lessons in humorous ways and stuff like that. And so it was written in 86. I read it in the 90s. I'd be really interested to see if anyone out there who's watching this hasn't read it and they read it for the first time now. I'd like to know how it's aged, because it seems timeless. It really does, because he's a minister, and so he's like, I can't remember what denomination he was, but he's not really heavily religious about it, but he's front about his spirituality. and it's really wholesome and it's funny and it's a series of stories.
Yep.
And so it's just heartwarming, and sometimes you need a little quick anecdote to just make you laugh. And he laughs at himself, he laughs at other people, and that's what we do.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
everything I need to know, I learned in kindergarten.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
So that's any comments, please comment below if you have anything, you did anything for World Hearing Day, if you knew about it, because I didn't know. I mean, we have hearing loss.
Right.
I learned about it last year.
You told me about it this year.
This year, yeah. So
right in.
we're hoping to spread the word, and I think this video is part of that.
Yep.
And anyway, so that's it.
That's it.
We'll see you
Alrighty.
next week.
See you again.